When your old career gives you lemons, throw in some ice, mix in some vodka, and call it a podcast. From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hey, baby. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Danny's here in his Yankees cap after they swept the Red Sox. It's a big sports weekend. There are many people, Danny, about to get rich this weekend.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
No.
What do you mean you don't know what I mean?
Getting rich on what?
For being really good at one thing, Dan.
Oh, be a professional athlete.
For a really short period of time.
Yes.
And how many of them will we forget just as fast?
Oh gosh. 95% of them.
Yeah. It's.
Are you speaking of the NFL draft, Bill?
I was speaking of the NFL draft.
Oh yeah. If you look over the years, go by the 1% rule. 1% of all high school athletes play college.
Yeah.
1% of all college athletes play in the pros.
Right.
1% of all pros go to the Hall of Fame.
Well, the thing that we
roughly
love is we love the underdog story. We love the Doug Flutys. We love the Warren. What was his name with the Rams?
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner.
They made a movie out of it.
Yes, they did. And we love those stories because these are the guys that were back bagging groceries, but they had this dream and they held on to it, and it worked out. And we love that. Tom Brady being the last pick in the NFL draft, all that stuff.
Oh no, he was a sixth rounder. Brock Purdy was the last pick in the NFL draft.
He was the last, but still sixth round, right?
Yeah.
Not going to be there. Also drafted for baseball. Maybe he should have done that. These are the stories that we love. But remember, we just mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Four guys. And that's the part that's so strange to me. Now, we'll get into what happened a little bit here. The Buffalo Bills traded out of the first round.
Yes.
3 times. I believe that most teams get 7 to 8 picks per draft throughout.
You get 7.
You get 7.
You get 7. Some teams get comp picks for free agency formulas, but you get
7 to 8, right?
You get at least 7 picks.
Okay. And the Bills, because of these trades, now have 9 for this draft.
Yeah, they had 9. Now at this point they're down to 8, but yes.
Yeah, right. So, and with the 35th pick, they took TJ Parker, who's an edge rusher out of Clemson. Okay. Great college production. He looks the part. Projects to be potentially a starter. On 3.com, they called Parker a stalwart. Throughout the 3 years at Clemson, he played 39 total games for the Tigers. And by the way, stalwart, for those who don't know, definition, loyal, reliable.
Golden retriever.
Hardworking supporter of an organization, team, or cause. Last season, 37 tackles, 9.5 sacks for loss, 5 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 3 fumble recoveries. Over the course of his career, doesn't really matter, but so then I had to go do a little more research because I don't know much about these guys at all. It's just interesting. It's interesting to me, the depth of breakdown. And it's one of these things where I could understand that an argument for someone being criticized by one of these guys is, you fucking try it, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's guys who may have never played the game, but they can see it. There's mechanics, there's things, and some of them are minor things to fix.
It's not rocket science.
So here is, I think his name is Lance Zierlein.
Zierlein.
Zierlein?
Yep.
Okay. From NFL.com. He broke down Parker ahead of the draft. Powerful edge defender with NFL length.
In other words, he's got long arms.
Okay. Whose 2025 tape might be closer to his pro projection than his gaudy 2024 numbers. Parker's handwork is above average in both phases. He strikes early to set very firm edges, then sheds quickly to finish tackles. Average short area burst limit his ability to pursue the run in space and threaten tackles in a race to the top of the rush. He can long arm tackles into the pocket when he catches them right, but he fails to find quick solutions when that approach stalls. His rush production will be muted until he expands his it's all this technical talk. But basically, it sounds like the guy may have a slight flaw that good coaching could overcome. Fair?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay. I say
Well, that's why they drafted him.
Well, right. But here's the part nobody talks about. Every single one of these guys just had their life changed.
Yes.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Potentially a lot of money.
Oh, gosh. Not potentially. They're going to make a lot of money.
And not just their life, families.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially generations.
If you watched the draft and you saw people who weren't at the draft but were at their homes, man, that gravy train is big and long, okay? There are people there who probably, like, as a friend of a friend who hey, I'll get you into TJ Parker's party. Hey, I'll get you into Fernando Mendoza's party. Hey, I'll get you in. And that's it's scary for these poor kids because now it's like they feel this obligation to take care of the old guard. And some of those people are along for the ride. But, yeah, it's life-changing money.
Yeah. All because for a window of time, they're elite at football.
Oh, yeah. The
right?
shelf life might be 4 years.
Yeah.
On average. It's not even that long. Did you watch the UFL last night? I mean, that's how short, okay? These are guys who are, like, just a little bit older than these guys who are like, I couldn't make it in the NFL.
Right.
I'm trying to make it back.
Right.
And they're playing in a subpar league in the spring. That's how short the shelf life is.
And here's what really fascinates me. You don't have to be great forever. You have to be great long enough.
Yes.
Long enough.
Get to that second contract.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Get to that 5th year.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. So let's take this guy, 35th, second-round pick, right? 3 years at Clemson, a handful of dominant games from what I read. I did not see any of them. A couple of highlight reels that I watched. Looked pretty good to me.
Well, they're only going to show you the great stuff.
And now, millions of dollars.
Yes.
Right? Status, security, access to a lot of things he didn't have before. I always think that is an immense amount of pressure on a young man.
Especially at that age.
Don't you think?
Well, think about it. I mean, how old was your father and mother? How old were they when they got married?
24 and 25,
and
23 and 24.
And they went to college.
Yeah.
Like most people.
And my mom went to masters.
Right. So your parents were actually considered behind the times as far as parenting, getting married and having kids.
I guess you're right.
Because
I don't
my
know.
father got married, like when he graduated in 66 from high school.
Okay.
His first wife was a little bit younger than he was. He was 20, she was 18. And he said at that point, Danny boy, you graduated from high school, you got a job, you got married, you had a family, right?
Yeah.
And so unless you went to college, then it was a little bit later typically. But my point is our parents grew up a lot sooner than our generations and then the generations after us.
Right.
So like 22 is kind of like 16 in a way to our parents, and now you're getting millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's my point. Would
you be mature enough at 16 years old to be a multi-million or not a multi-millionaire, but a millionaire?
No.
I'd be buying like flat screen TVs, a couple houses, a boat, maybe 2, some cars, one for every day of the week.
Dude, I'm with you. I mean, that's the part that scares me. I have, and I say this a lot, so forgive me, but I've done a lot of like self-reflection over the past year, and since I've entered this program, which was not something I sought out, it sort of found me, and I'm very glad it did. But I see all of the stuff, and I go, I don't want to be that guy anymore. Way too much impulsivity, way too much giving into stuff. Fuck 22. Excuse me. Screw 22. Give me 50.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because the temptation and the fun, and I know now what I have access to. The impulsivity that I had, and like that's where if something sounded scary to me, right, and it gave me a little twinge in my stomach, I would always go, then I got to do it. Because if I didn't do it, it like ate at me.
Oh yeah.
Now I'll give you.
You never closed that feedback loop. You had to close the loop.
Yeah.
You had to close the loop.
Yeah, Danny, I'll give you an example. At 12, okay, 12, we take a family trip to Ixtapas-Zihuatanejo in Mexico.
What?
It's a little place in Mexico. Ixtapas-Zihuatanejo. It's really nice if you go there. And we're on a beach and we're watching people parasail. And I want to do it. I really want to do it.
Yeah, most kids, Dad, I want to play the darts. I want to parasail.
I want to parasail. I want to get up in that thing. But I'm deathly afraid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I watch my dad do it. And my dad...
Did it get off the ground?
No, I don't think...
That was just a guess. No. That was just a joke. You see, Billy boy?
So, I'm not kidding.
That was literally just a joke.
I know. I don't... No, he didn't. I think that they said they had to wait to the wind... Wait, I'm going to tell you.
Shark!
I'm going to tell you.
May he rest in peace.
No, I'm going to tell you what happened.
Pieces.
I can't remember if he was heavy then or not, because he got up to like 270 at one point, maybe heavier.
This is before his Iron Butterfly days.
Yeah. He always worked out and stuff. Like, even when I was later years in high school, and that's how I did some more boxing stuff, was I would go to this natural bodybuilding gym with him, and I loved it because it was like old school. Some of the benches and stuff were just duct taped around where people's head had been so much.
Yeah, like the gym in Rocky 3.
Yeah.
Where like Apollo was, you need to go back to the streets.
And they had a heavy bag with all kinds of like tape and beat the shit up in this tiny little I don't even know what it was. I call it a closet, but it was an entrance to each locker room, and it was right in the center there. And I used to go back. You gotta eat lightning and crap thunder, Billy. You got it. So I don't know how heavy he was. That's the point. And I just remember them saying in really bad English, right? And we're trying to interpret, we have to wait for the winds to be more in the afternoon. So then he did go up, and I remember seeing him, and his toes were like tipping across the water as they're it's like so, and then he gets up. So but I was miserable on the trip because all I could think about is I got to do this, but I don't want to do this, but I got to do this.
Yeah, takes Billy away from his problems.
So I did it. I finally went up.
You went up.
And I had the greatest time. And I remember because I was 12.
You were never the same after that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I could do anything.
I was 12, and I remember singing, I don't know if you remember this show or not, the Greatest American Hero. Like, he became a superhero, but he couldn't really control his powers. He would crash. He had curly hair. He was very unassuming as a superhero. And they had a theme song, and I sang that while I was up there. I was like, and it was the coolest thing in the world. I remember looking down. I'm above birds and all this, and it was awesome. And I realized at that age that I got to do the things that I'm afraid to do. If they really pull at me.
Yes.
If they pull at me. Like, I remember... and I don't want to say too much, but we used to have to do some stuff for the scouts where we climbed down a building. And I remember being up at the building.
Like rappelling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you rappelled.
Like you did down at the first federal building about 20 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I went up there, and I think you were with me. Didn't you come with me?
I did not come with you. I remember that because afterwards you went to McGinney's to have a Guinness.
I did.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I keep a Guinness journal of you.
So but I remember that there was somebody else from the media who.
I know who.
Yeah. And I don't want to say.
No,
much.
he's a good dude.
Yep. Great guy.
I would do the same thing, by the way. I'd be like
broke out in tears. And I remember standing there, and I remember getting over to the edge, and they're like, lean out, lean out, lean out. And I remember going, I could feel it in my stomach, and I'm like, fuck it, here we go.
Yep.
And off I went. And that's
local shock jock Bill Moran died yesterday doing a charity rappel. Stacy Pension is downtown with the latest.
She's by the splat.
Yeah. And it's Channel 8 at the time, and she was doing news and weather because they couldn't afford to have a full-time weather person. Yeah, I'm at the scene here, and it's pretty bad.
I had to do one down the
There's some of them, and there's some of them.
Years later, they came to me and go, will you do it again? And I said, yeah, but I can't do it during the times you want. They go, well, will you? It's down the Kodak building this time. So I'm like, yeah, but listen, man, I got.
Oh, you got the little eagle's nest sitting there.
Yeah,
hey guys,
I said I have limited time here. I've got to get my kid somewhere. So Jameson was with me. He waited at the bottom. I went up. I just can't. I practically slid down the building.
You're like Spider-Man.
I didn't even care. I was just like, and because I knew I wasn't going to get hurt, and if I did, what am I going to do? It's too late. Too late now. Yeah. The thing is, everybody thinks we're biggest fear of humanity, uncertainty, right? Get down to the bottom of it. It's uncertainty. Uncertainty that the plane's going to land, uncertainty where I go when I die, uncertainty what's going to happen with it. It's all future. It's all anxiety.
Sorry, guys. I just remembered that my life insurance doesn't cover splat. You guys are on your own.
So my thing would be, okay, it's too late now. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, you can't climb your way back up.
Right. So why think of the worst scenario? What if it doesn't? What if it goes great? What if you have a great view? What if you really enjoy it? What if you find something you really like? And that's where my head goes.
Right. When you're about to crash, don't look at the wall, look at the road.
And that's where my friend Ellie always calls me Polly.
Polly?
Yeah. Polly Sunshine. Because I always...
Oh, Pollyanna. Okay.
Pollyanna. Like, I'm always saying nice things and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just how
you're not yelling, yes.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
No. That's true.
Stop effing with the phones.
That wouldn't work.
No.
It just doesn't work.
Please?
Here's the sort of uncomfortable question, though, when it comes to, like, the NFL and the draft. Where does everybody go when it doesn't work out? You've dedicated your life to something. This is all a lot of these, I don't know, I don't want to say majority, but it's all majority of them really know is that. I just wonder, like, what happens?
So, do you remember that Miller Lite commercial with Troy Aikman, where he goes to buy Miller Lite at a convenience store, and this one guy goes, man, I'm a huge fan. He goes, well, I'd like to live in the past, but thank you. Then his phone rings. It's his ringtone. Aikman, back to throw, touchdown. He goes, I live in the past.
Yeah.
Because I would. And the thing is that it's not just the guys who didn't make it.
Days.
Yeah, it's not just the guys who didn't make it. It's the guys who did. Now what? Because that's what you're known for. You've been fed your entire life. You're great. 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 And now, okay, now what do I do?
Right.
Where do you take that competitive spirit? Where do you take that edge? Nothing will ever eclipse, like, in your mind, what you just did. And now you have to figure out a way to live your life beyond being, as Josh Allen said, his wife told him, just a football player. You're not just a football player. And we're seeing it with guys like Peyton Manning, who's made a second career and a third career in acting and all that other stuff. And, you know, Josh Allen's probably going to be that guy. Tom Brady has done broadcasting. He's become an owner. But, yeah, they were great. What about the other guys?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And again, when you mention the guys, I want people to keep the number in their head. You mentioned 2.
Yeah.
Right? That we see. Or 3 with Aikman. So
the fact that you can name them tells you how rare it is in a country of 300 plus million people.
And I think sports are great if it's seen as a way to overcome adversity, real coaching stuff. I did see a commercial on ESPN this morning. The Mannings are on every commercial. The Mannings and the
Kelseys.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen the Kelseys on a lot of commercials lately. That doesn't mean anything.
They're at the Masters, and so or what's his name? Not Travis, but Jason was at the Masters, and people are like, okay, enough. But they never say that about the Mannings for some reason.
Yeah, so the
Mannings are everywhere.
The Mannings are in this commercial about coaching. And basically saying, like, we're taking it back.
Oh, take back sports for make it fun again.
Yeah, but I'm like, when was it not? And I guess it gets too serious. You got kids you're using it as a path out.
Okay, so Kevin has sons who play competitive travel hockey, and they're really good at it, and they've been good at it. But I think the Manning's point is that in the 90s, they started travel leagues for baseball. And hockey's always been a travel sport because you got to find rinks, right? Like every high school has a diamond and a pitch of grass to either put a football field on or a soccer field. So athletics are funded through public schools, okay? Yep. And even younger than that. But like there's other sports that weren't. And then all of a sudden the sports that were joining in. With the exception of football, everything was a pay-to-play league. And it was travel and you had to spend all this money. And it became a racket. And now, well, if your kid wants to play, he's got to be pretty good. And it's going to cost you this. And if you want your kid, like my buddy Brad Davies, who's a talk show host in town, he was told when his son was 8 years old, if your kid wants to play high school baseball in Houston, Texas, he's got to start playing now at 7 years old in a travel league. 7 years old, I wasn't even at a T-ball level yet.
I know.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's like now all of a sudden, not only do you have to play, but you have to be awesome. And if you're not awesome right off the hop, we don't want you. Go play Pokemon. Yeah. Go do something else. And that is not fair. Because I was one of those kids who were like, I suck, but I'm going to keep trying. Yeah. And travel ball, travel sport, travel anything was out of the question. I sucked.
Well, travel anything was out of the question in my life because Marge and Bill
they weren't paying for it.
No,
that's the other thing.
They weren't doing it. They weren't driving. I got into a private high school, and it would require me to take what they called the loop bus, and I'd have to meet it like 4 miles from my house, get on that. It would take me into Poughkeepsie. I was going to go Our Lady of Lourdes. So I got in, and then my father's like, well, he's going to want to play sports, and I'm not driving back into Poughkeepsie at night. And that was it. That was the end of it.
Well, my father,
that was the end of the discussion.
I begged my father to play hockey.
Yeah.
And he said, nope. I work with a bunch of guys. They say it's incredibly expensive. You're not playing.
Yeah. It sucks.
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
You want to play baseball? You can sell candy bars. I'll let you play baseball. But that's it. I mean, my brother right now is going through it with his oldest son, and he's fantastic.
Right.
He's 10 years old. So to keep him play, because like he plays travel ball, but travel ball is hit or miss. Sometimes there's a lot of gaps. So he signed him up for the local little league, which I played in, he played in, my father played in, coached, right? And the first thing my nephew says to my brother after the first practice, Dad, these kids suck. No, they're just.
Yeah, they're kids.
They're kids.
Right, but he might need a different level.
No, right. Well, that's the whole thing, though. He's used to playing like travel ball. Right. And the Manning's whole point is, can't we just make this fun?
Well, we can make it.
For everybody. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Do we have to racketize this?
I'm glad you explained that because I'm going, well, sports are fun, but I get what you're saying. It gets more competitive. Right. And
it's almost
focused.
Like it's only for the elite athlete.
Yeah.
No, it should be for everybody. Shut up. And if your kid's good enough to be elite, go find those leagues. So, that's great.
But now we're talking about the guys who make it to the NFL, that other 1%, right? The 1% of the 1%. And we break down their tape. We love their story. We celebrate them. We post clips of them hugging their mom. We get all into this. But what happens when they're a step too slow? You know what I mean? When
in that room full of draft people who are celebrating you, disappears.
Wow, that's what I'm saying. They can't adjust to the speed of the NFL. They blow out whatever it is. We don't care, or do we? Do we care then?
I think that people care at a certain level, but I think it's always going to eat at the person that didn't make it to that next level. Here's a great example. ESPN has had a flurry of 30 for 30s over the last 15 years. 30 for 30 documentaries. One was about a guy named Marcus Dupree. I'd never heard of this dude. So he was just before my time. Marcus Dupree, the documentary was called The Best That Never Was. This dude was supposed to be the next Earl Campbell. He was supposed to be Barry Sanders before Barry Sanders. And he got in touch with the wrong people. Were managing his money and all this other stuff. He hurt his knee. He ends up getting drafted into the USFL, and he ended up playing in the NFL. But he wasn't the guy that people used to tackle him or try to tackle him, and he was so forceful, like Bo Jackson, that if he kept running, you tried tackling him by the jersey, his jersey would rip off.
So what happened?
He had a problem in college with eligibility. Because like Texas A&M was going after him and another school, and then so he was ruled ineligible. Then he transferred to Mississippi State, but he never played. And then he got drafted to the USFL because he wanted to go pro and cash in immediately. Okay, and then he hurt his knee, and then that was it. It's just a lot of bad advice from people. And everybody wanted this kid, so, they're throwing money at him, which was illegal back then. Not illegal in terms of the law, illegal in terms of the NCAA. Mm-hmm. And so that's what kind of caught up. And eventually he flamed out, and then he made a comeback. And he looked amazing. And he got to play for the LA Rams for a year, but but by that point he was 26 and he was too old to play in the NFL, and that was it.
Well, see, that's the
26. Think about that. 26.
I know. The NFL is honest about one thing. It's a business.
Oh, it's a meritocracy.
Yeah. And business is cold. Yes. And the thing is, that goes back to what I said in one of my classes. Fuck it, we're here. Mm-hmm. Whoever got here for whatever reason, you have an opportunity here. The thing is, if you're not there, the front office moves on. Everybody moves on. We go to the next guy on the board. Fans move on, right? We forget about these. Media moves on because there's another one coming, another stalwart, another whoever, right. All that stuff. And so I always wonder, with all that stuff, we fall in love, so to speak, but it's temporary. And you can take it away from sports. Think of things like American Idol. Right? American Idol was very big in the early 2000s, right? I think around then. And all the people that would win, where did they go? The Voice, where do they go? You just had a local kid came in third on The Voice. Whoever. I'm not saying that you can't. I just hope that somebody's there. You would watch Beast Mode.
Marshawn Lynch.
When he was with Buffalo, his mom came with him.
Yes.
You wonder why. People go, oh, that seems ridiculous. No, it doesn't. I'm starting to see now, as an older guy, that all that stuff is scary because there's a lot of people with temptation, right? You're a young guy. You go to a club. You have a name. You're part of something bigger than yourself, the Buffalo Bills, the NFL, right? And people want to get a hold of that. Women, men, everybody.
Right. I was one of the few people who got to interview Marshawn Lynch when he would talk. Mm-hmm. He was a rookie, right, in 07. I was covering for the Dunkirk Observer. And I go to talk to Marshawn Lynch. And the first thing, I got to ask him one question because he was walking. He doesn't like talking to anybody, as you know. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
And he starts talking, and I noticed that his teeth, he's got a grill on.
Yeah.
Like every tooth is lined in gold.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see where that signing bonus went.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why his mother was there, because somebody had to keep him in line. And by the way, he got into a lot of trouble in Buffalo. Uh-huh. He had a woman with his Porsche and all this other stuff.
Drunk driving.
Here's the thing. People forget that he played in Buffalo.
Yeah, I know.
He's known for
Seattle.
Yeah. Beastquake.
Yeah.
He's not known for playing in Buffalo.
No.
But, I mean, it just goes to show you how fast life moves on.
Well, it isn't family. It isn't loyalty. It's a business, and that's part of it. It's just that it's a business for these kids as well. That's why I'm okay with them making money.
Yeah, make that money,
in
but
college,
save that money.
But save that money because it's a performance-based value. Like you said, a meritocracy. Once that performance dips, so does everybody else.
There are only two there are only two pure meritocracies in America: sports and sales.
Yeah.
And in football and pro sports, they cross because it's a business. Sales is a business, right?
Yeah.
And once that runs out, you got to have a backup plan. And they have rookie symposiums that tell these kids, listen, you got to save your money. You're not going to be making this money the rest of your life. Heck, you might not even make it after 4 years.
Right.
So put it in the bank, live off the interest, invest well. Don't be, and by the way, get rid of all the financial advisors and just manage your own. Learn how to do that yourself. That's what Shaquille O'Neal did.
Yeah. Right. You see, but again, and look, there's probably guys who we don't really know who played. I'll give you one. Who is here? Blyer. Who was
Rocky Blyer?
But no.
Oh, his brother?
Yeah, no, his cousin, I believe, lives here.
Okay,
was the strike year.
Oh, he was a strike player in '87
for the Patriots.
The Patriots, okay.
I think with Flutie.
Okay, so it had to be '87.
Yeah, and I think started and all that, and had played and was not always playing in high school and stuff. Wound up, I forget where he went, Virginia maybe, and was really good and really had a fight for the take. Had a great story. We did a podcast together. I actually have to send him clips of it because he called me recently and wants to put them on his website. You can go back and see it. I think it's Bob Blyer. And he Yeah, and it was over. But he runs a great financial business. He took that same focus and energy and just put it somewhere else. And I'm sure a lot of guys do. I don't know. It's one of those things as I watch this, I go, man, some of these dudes are going to be just forgotten, and it's too bad. It's too bad because it's a lot of hype and it's a lot of attention. And when the noise goes away, and you'll hear players say, I don't know what life will be like when I'm not running out of that tunnel with the noise. And it's something many of us can't wrap our heads around because we've never done it.
Oh, dude, like Steve McMichael, who died of ALS, which may have been caused by playing pro football.
Yeah.
He said in the Bears documentary, the 85 Bears, which is the one that came out right after the Four Falls of Buffalo.
Yep.
He goes, you ask any one of those players if today, with all the aches and pains that they have, if you could run through that tunnel one more time, he goes, they'd all say yes. Now, this is before he had ALS. I wonder if he would say the same thing. I think he might.
Yes.
I think he might because they have that drive. I work in an industry where in sales, they want ex-athletes. They want college athletes.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've learned to channel. Those who didn't make it learn to channel that competition, that competitive spirit into sales.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Look at Greg Connors. Greg Connors played college football.
Yeah.
He tore up his knee. But do you know anybody more competitive than Greg Connors?
Maybe.
Okay, you.
No, I'm not.
You're going to have to kill me. That's his motto.
Yeah.
You're going to have to kill me to beat me. That's why he started Connors and Ferris.
Tell me, let's change this for just a sec. Tell me, in your opinion, if I'm off here, is trading out of the first round smart football? Is that smart football?
I think usually it is. It's not always. Let's put it this way.
Is it just an organization saying we'd rather more lottery tickets in the lottery?
That's basically, if you sum it up, that's basically it. But every
know
team,
a lot of these guys aren't hitting anyway.
Every team they grade every player on their board by round.
Yeah.
And this year they said it's a weak draft class for two reasons. One, there's not a lot of quarterbacks. Number two, because of NIL money, kids are staying in college longer. So now the kids who are actually coming out because, well, they really need the money.
Right.
In this instance, and they think that they're good enough to go to the pros. And so, or they don't have a choice. They have to come out because they've run out of eligibility. So rounds 4 through 7 might be a little bit watered down. There might be more UFL players than NFL players in this year's draft, but trading down gets you more shots at the basket because because look at all the guys who played for the Bills who were in the 4th round, 5th round, 6th round.
Right.
Who end up sticking around. Your best cornerback was a 6th round pick out of a 1AA school.
Yeah.
So now, here's the thing though. In Buffalo's case, it was a great idea on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday comes and everybody's like, okay, you traded down to do that. All right, if you say so. That's where it's not necessarily a good idea. And we'll find out in the fall.
Right, sure.
But I mean, it's normally a good idea. If you don't think your guys are there and you can get more value, then go get more value.
I think that was it. Because every guy who cashes in, there are dozens who don't.
Right.
There are dozens who don't. And they got a shot. And it's got to be so weird to be one step away from generational wealth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you could adjust, I don't know what that is. But sometimes nobody remembers their name, and it's just a weird side of that.
But you know what, though? With these athletes, like nationally, a lot of people might not remember their names, but locally or at the college level or at the high school level in their hometowns, they'll always be heroes.
That's true. That's a great point to bring up.
The question is, did they channel that? Like, if you've ever read the book Friday Night Lights, it was about a game in 1989, a high school football game between, I think, Odessa and Temple. I don't know exactly. There's a movie made about it. A lot of those kids, their lives ended that night.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like by death. I'm talking like that was the height of their life.
Yeah, that was it. That was their peak.
That was
they
their
peaked.
Peak.
Yeah.
You never want to peak in high school.
You don't want to peak.
I'm hoping I haven't peaked yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a few more peaks. There's a term floating around right now. We will get into it. It bothers me. We'll get your opinion.
Suicidal empathy? Is that the term?
No.
Okay.
Well, I have that.
Do you?
Yeah. We'll get to that right after this. When it comes to home improvement, you've got choices. Let's say there's a hole in the bedroom wall, and somehow nobody in the house knows how it got there. You could fix it. I mean, there's always YouTube, right? But 3 hours later, it's going to look like a patch job. Not even a good patch job. And how about that leak under the kitchen sink? Yeah, you said you'd get to it, and that was, 2.5, 3 months ago? If we're being honest, we all have that list. The one where deep down, you're not totally sure you've got the skills to pull it off. If it's my list, I'm calling Mac of all trades. Holes in the wall, handled. Leaky sinks, done. Full kitchen remodel, yeah, they got that too. And hey, warmer weather's coming. How's that deck looking? Need it extended? Rebuilt? Outdoor patio? Don't be a deckhead. Call Mac of all trades, 585-202-9218. That's 585-202-9218. And you can see all they do online at macofalltrades.net. They'll handle it, so you don't have to. What was the term you said, Mike? What is it?
Suicidal empathy?
Yeah. You don't have suicidal empathy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Suicidal empathy is...
I know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, what's going on in Europe, that's what they're putting... I mean, hey, you know what? We're going to feel bad for people, even if it kills us.
What do you mean?
Gad Sayed wrote the book Suicidal Empathy. It's basically about how government is into their feelings and allowing and signing off on certain policies that allow crime to escalate because they feel bad for certain groups of people. And yeah, even if it kills us, we're going to just allow it because we feel bad.
All
for
right,
those
so
people.
I took it completely differently.
Okay.
I'm
just summing it up.
I was thinking real suicidal empathy for people who commit suicide, which a lot of people go, I get really mad at them and I get very angry. And my thing would be more like, I feel bad because there's so much pain there. And if you can't handle it, it's a way out.
Oh, that's a different thing.
I get it. So that's what I thought suicidal empathy meant by that.
No, suicidal empathy means we're going to destroy our society because we feel bad for certain groups of people. So we're just going to let them just take us down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Invite the third world in, become the third world.
Well, I think that's it's a tough.
I'm just summing it all up.
No, I know. I think that's the way people see it. So then it becomes like their talking point. So my question would be, if that's how you feel, what are you doing about it?
Right. And I think there are people who are trying to do, like I became friends on X with someone in Great Britain named Conservative Goth. I don't know who this is. Liam Gallagher of Oasis wrote a post called God is Great. And I wrote back, hey, Liam, did you find Jesus? Because if you did, you'd lead a heck of a heavenly choir because he was a heck of a lead singer. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this person liked the post and then followed me. And I asked this person, I go, what the heck is going on over there in Britain? Here's what they wrote. I don't even know if it's he or she. We have become not only godless, but have lost all cultural Christianity in favor of third world imported ideologies that are completely at odds with British and Christian values. Our king is supposedly pro-Islam over anything else, despite the fact that he is meant to be the defender of the Christian faith, and women and children, sometimes even men, are ever more becoming victims of horrified violence, both sexual and non-sexual, at the hands of the non-indigenous population, a large portion of which are here illegally. It is looking rather bleak, unfortunately. Horrific. Because I mentioned on the podcast, ironically, last podcast we did about what's going on in Britain. You said, what's going on in Britain? Well, that's what's going on in Britain.
Yeah, right. And maybe, I don't know. I can't, the thing is, like, we look at Christianity and we're going to say that's right. And we'll say that Islam's wrong, at least in the way that sounded, right? And when I look back on Christianity and even England itself, I'll just take it from my roots, my people. The potato famine of Ireland should have never happened. That would never have happened. People starving. Okay, It was England's fault. England was demanding that if you wanted, they came in, they were taking over the land. They said, if you want to own your land, you have to give us so many bushels of whatever. Otherwise, we're taking the land. So Ireland had enough food. And it's not uncommon for anybody who's worked in agriculture to have a season where the apples just don't come. The peas aren't, right? Okay. So we had a blight on the potatoes. Ireland's a small island, so it spread, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. There was enough food in Ireland.
It was just going to the British.
England took it all. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. So the Irish, a lot of them had to go, they were starving to death. So they got in really what they call coffin ships, where people were dying of starvation, dying of disease, to come over here. You had families ripped apart. And I'm just using Ireland as an example. It's every country around the world that these things have happened to. And like my great-grandmother was 9. Can you imagine 9 leaving your family, never seeing them again?
My great-grandfather came over here at 10 years old.
Yeah. By himself?
By himself.
So did my great-grandmother. And
that's why we can't find other Borellos like outside, you know, like in other words, like when Facebook came out, we found other Borellos. We thought we were the only ones.
Right.
And then there were some in Louisiana. There were some in Tennessee. But I mean, we had no idea because he was the only Borello that we knew of.
Right.
That came across.
So I don't, like when you hear this stuff, you go, okay, so I don't know. I mean, it's been a time-honored tradition of rape, pillage, and plunder and take over. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in England. I don't even know necessarily what's sometimes happening in America. But, you know, I always have said Trump did what he said he was going to do, right? We haven't had really a border issue. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there. I just would say that if it almost sounds like they're saying they're coming in and taking over and we're allowing them to do it. Well, I could have said that about Ireland with the Brits. So what are you going to do about it? Go back in your history and figure out, I don't want this happening here. So what do you do?
Right. No, I think that there's guys like Tommy Robinson and others. Elon Musk is involved. They're trying to do that. Like America's pretty much the last domino to fall. The rest of the world is pretty much like, okay.
Well,
and
I can't. I think that there's also like a misunderstanding. I always think the bad is what gets the attention. Is it that way through everything? No, it's not. It never is. So what are we doing where, yeah, there should be limits and boundaries. I get that. But also acceptance and, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be a middle ground.
I understand that. I understand like where do you draw the line? I get that. I understand that. But I think at this point, history has shown us, hey, this group of people can't figure it out. Let them in.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not saying everybody.
No.
It's just enough to cause a problem.
Look, I don't think that. I don't know what their problem is over there. I really don't. I have no idea. I'm not familiar with Britain's politics or whatever it is. A lot of these countries are letting people in and paying people to come and live there and do things because the cities need it. And they need. Oh,
I get emails from Italy all the time. Hey, you want to come and become an Italian citizen? Yeah. No, but thanks.
Yeah. So, but I would say that you've got other problems, like here, and I hear what you're saying, and I think that what people go, well, it's this liberal agenda, it's this open-mindedness, it's this acceptance of everything. We're just going to let them be. They're people too. Blah blah blah. Yep, that's all a fair thing to say, but then let's take it to something else. Like many cities have a homeless problem, or now it's referred to as unhoused. But either way, we know what we're talking about, and there's money given to go and fix that problem, or try to help that problem. Well, the problem is we're not right, but why aren't we? Well, because it's like, how do I tell somebody not to be homeless? You're talking about people who, only because I don't think I talked about this on the podcast. I went down and I had to do something, and I went and I volunteered at a food pantry, and it's set up so you actually shop. A lot of food pantries, it's come and pick up your box of food, and that's your box of food. And a lot of them you can only go to every 4 weeks. This one you can go to every week and you shop. And they try to do that for the dignity of the person. And you can take as much as you want. So you'll find people who would be termed food insecure that come through the first time, and they fucking load up, man. And then there's people who come on a weekly basis, and you start to realize, oh, this is always going to be here for me. I can come no matter what, no questions asked. They give you a number, and if they run out that day, like I think you can get up to like 400 through that, maybe 380 that day, and then you come back on Tuesday or something, and you go through. Each person who comes through gets someone to shop with them, which I question the dignity, like you're saying dignity, but some of these people don't speak English. Some are not, right? There's families, there's homeless, there's all kinds of things that you saw a cross section, okay? And as I watched this stuff, I was hustling that day to just keep the shelves stocked. I tried to make everything look forward and nice. The milk is shelf-stable milk, which is really, I think we're one of the few countries in the world that does fresh milk.
Refrigerated milk.
Yeah, I mean, most of Europe, England, it's shelf-stable milk. So that culturally, it's appropriate for some of these people that come through there. But it's by the quart. So now you're trying to carry all this shit out of there. It's heavy, right? And as you watch this, you go, a lot of people are just here trying to have the better life. They're not trying to do something bad. I wish there was more things like that is more of a private enterprise and not government funded. I think from what I've seen, I feel like government seems to muck things up along the way. I also think that a lot of times it would be, I always think back to like my dad saying, I'm not paying for your car insurance because it's not your money. When it's your money, you're going to take it a little more seriously. I don't want you driving like an asshole. That's part of it, blah, blah, blah. It's not their money. It's tax dollars. Now, a lot of people, I always scratch my head on this one, is like, my tax dollars pay for that. I don't know what my tax dollars pay for. I have no idea. You know, people get pissed off at billionaires and all these other people, and I was going to get into that. Maybe we'll do that next segment. But I always think, why are we punishing people for working hard and being successful? Could some billionaires do better? Maybe, probably, I guess. Could you make better working conditions? Are there problems? Yes. But I mean, that's every corporation. So I don't know. I just think that always going after them and calling them these horrible things, they're the ones who are paying for most. You want to know where your tax dollars? You know what? Their tax dollars pay for a lot more shit than mine. And yes, there are loopholes and things that they get out of stuff. But even with that, I guarantee they're paying more than most of us, if not all of us. So I have a problem with that. And then when money gets put toward things, let's say the unhoused, well, what do? You can't. The one thing that you really can't do, and I hope this kind of penetrates people, is you can't assert something on someone. In other words, I can't force you into a homeless shelter. I can't force you into, I mean, unless you want to say I can control the weather and I can make it so fucking cold you're going to come in and I can get you then, and maybe I tag you like you're a wild animal that I'm studying. I don't know. I don't know what you do. And the other thing is, so now they give this money out, right? Because it's a problem. States ask for help from the federal government. The money comes. It's not your money. And so where the fuck does it go? People are writing checks. And when you hear about things like, even let's take Minnesota, where everybody was up in arms over the Somali people being, okay, hold on a second. Step back. We got a bunch of money, and it's here to help us. If your child writes the number 5 backwards, I can get you $2,000 extra a month. Who's saying no? It's not my money, but I want to help my people. And that would be misappropriation of funds by the standards. So then somebody looks into it, and now everybody's pissed off. And that's where I go, oh, hang on a second. Put yourself in that thing. I'm somebody who isn't from this country. I'm trying to make it. It's hard for me to get a job. It's this, and someone's offering me $2,000 a month if my kid writes the number 5 backwards. Fuck, they all write the number 5 backwards. I got 5. So there's 10,000. You see what I'm saying? And so then we get mad at that. Why? Why? It's not their fucking fault. It's the government's fault for giving the fucking money without some kind of parameter. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's blaming. They might be blaming.
They are.
They might be blaming the people, but they're blaming the government first.
Well, But that's the problem. And
I mean, California's trying to pass a law to stop Nick Shirley from investigating this stuff.
But you're not going to be able to fix like the unhoused until you get people's mental health better. These are people who are not ever going to trust. Something happened to them that's so fucking bad that they can't figure it out.
I understand that. There's nuance to this, and it's not all black and white.
Right, but that's my point. So throwing money at it doesn't
not going to help. No,
that shit.
I agree with you.
So that's where I think even in this country, people get really, really angry. And I'm like, the pendulum always swings, right? And we've come to a world now where it's not about what's necessarily right or wrong. It's about who's the loudest in the room and who's got the most attention. And the loudest in the room becomes the person that gets the stuff. And so we all sort of acquiesce to that. And that's a bad thing to do. I think a lot of times if you have a real fight with somebody or an issue, sit down and write down the facts that we know. You gave this money, nothing happened. You gave this money, this happened. These are facts. We can't argue those. Right. That's a fact. Now, tell me your side. How do we figure this out? And I think that's the only way that I could ever see any of this shit getting fixed at any level in any government, any country around the world.
And I think, unfortunately, I think that you've heard the term uniparty? Where basically everybody, like on one side or the other side, they're really just working together.
Yeah.
And so, in other words, the right doesn't want to go after the left because then the left will go after the right.
Yeah.
And so this just becomes this endless cycle of what you just described. So we don't do anything. Right. And the money continues to go down a drain. And I think nothing gets investigated. Right. Nothing gets solved. It only gets worse.
And I understand. I mean, you can understand why people get frustrated over, like New York State was giving so much money to illegals that came in and housing them and all that. But then on the other side, you go, well, my great-grandmother, if she didn't have a family to stay with at 9, I wouldn't be here. So you got to kind of look back at the picture and try to say, okay, is this the right use of money? Are we helping people that are really here to help themselves? America is about picking up your bootstraps and let's go.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we are. The world opportunity. And I can tell you from firsthand witnessing with a family member whose family came here. He came at 6 months. It is really hard to assimilate in this country for somebody who is not originally from here. And it's so hard that out of 6, 3 are dead from drugs because you just couldn't handle it. It was too tough. Your identity, your everything, it's too tough. And others, the other 3 are wild overachievers. Wildly overachieved. And maybe that's not the right term to say, but very successful. Doctors, lawyers, medical doctors, doctorates, and lawyers at the highest level. So, okay. So that's what we want. We want that. Right. If you come to this country, that's what we want. Okay, but we have a different problem now here, too. What about the people that are here, that have had air conditioning their whole lives and food in the refrigerator? They're fucking lazy. They're not doing anything.
Yes, that's true.
So what are we going to do?
Right.
So there's all kinds of shit, and I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. I just all I'm doing is just observing stuff, and I try to take a more I don't know if the term is global or well-rounded look at stuff and see it for what it is. Yes, we have a problem. Yes, the government throws things away. Yes, we've got people. But I loved where I went and volunteered. I don't think they're government funded. It's like donations from Wegmans and Tops and different grocery stores and I think Food Link.
Yes.
Right? And Food Link, maybe that gets money from the government. And maybe all of them get tax breaks. I don't know. All I'm saying is, like, this was a machine that served a community with people who were there trying to protect the dignity of humanity, letting you actually shop, not telling you what you can and cannot take, and trying to keep it as organized and clean in a very small space as much as possible. I thought that was pretty fucking good. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I wish the government would step back out of things because it becomes everything becomes political.
Politicized, yeah.
Everything is political.
Right.
Everything is. It just is. And so that's okay, but it's not. because it doesn't always work. And this is something that does work. This does work. And by the way, it's all volunteers. It's all volunteers and a lot of young kids because, like my son went to a private high school. You had to do
community service
so many hours every year. You got to do it. Well, those boys were all there doing it and hustling. And it just shows you kind of like, there but by the grace of God go I. It's a thin line, my friends.
Oh, it is.
It's a fucking thin line. Keep that in mind.
You don't know what's going to happen today.
No. And what I'm also saying is like, here's the other thing that, God damn it. It's always your fault.
I dropped a phrase. You asked me what it meant.
I did because I thought it was something different. And I understand. But my point is like, I just don't think it can be that direct. Like these people are fucking evil and taking over. Hold on, bro.
I didn't say that.
No, but that is sort of what that guy said in the text. I mean, if we're going to distill it down, we're letting these guys in and they're fucking up our country. Okay.
And what are we doing about it?
Well, right.
But his point is, what are we doing about it?
Yes,
but they're not doing anything.
Okay. Well, I'm not in England. So the only place I know is here, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not there. I don't know what it's like over there right now in terms of that stuff. But all I can tell you is look at the history of the world. My people wouldn't be here if they didn't fucking take all the food from Ireland. It's almost like if people who believe in karma go, well, guess what? Now it's your turn, fuckers. Terrible way to look. Not the right answer. How do we get this so it's okay? People are leaving situations that are shitty. Yeah, there's so many countries in the world. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but there's tons with governments and things and all this shit. I don't know. Some are horrible. You want to live in North Korea?
No.
Okay. That's the only, right. So I get the people coming out. I don't get the violence and the want to take over and this other stuff, but there's been religious extremists of all kinds. So if it was like infidels, I mean, I always questioned this when I was a child because I went to a church much like you. And they'd have the people come in and they were missionaries, right? And and I would always wonder things like, what happens if those people never heard about Jesus? Like, it wasn't their fault. They just never heard about him. And then they died. What happened to them? They don't go to heaven? Like, I couldn't wrap my head around that as a kid. It's made no sense to me. And then you hear about the people that go over and go, well, did you hear about the tragedy? Remember those people who came to visit us? Oh, they were murdered by those savages. And I go, well, yeah. You're forcing something on them, telling them the way they live is wrong. They've been doing it for way longer.
So you kill them?
Well, I don't know. If you feel like
you don't know. What do you mean?
I'm just saying, if it's a threat, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right. You got to try to follow this. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying it becomes like you're telling me I'm wrong and you're going to try to take over and change what I know. Well, I'm going to fight back. And if that means getting you out of here, and the only way to do that is to kill you, and then, I mean, I hear plump white women from America taste pretty good over a pit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. Is like, I just, why are we telling everybody they're fucking wrong? Even these people coming in, right? Let's say it is a Muslim extremist, and they're going to say, you're wrong, we're going to wipe out Christianity. Okay. What is this? Fuck, man, we're all human beings. You actually are all having a very similar experience at different levels. I don't know.
Do you like living in America? I do. Mm-hmm. And I got to be honest with you. I'm not afraid of my neighbors.
No, me neither.
Right now. Why? Because we have laws.
No, well.
We have codes of conduct.
Okay.
And there are some people who just...
Hang on a second. Because I see where you're going, and I get this. But that it doesn't fucking matter. You have codes of conduct all the time, Danny. People still break the fucking law.
I understand that.
Right. But there's mental fucking nuttiness.
There is.
So what is driving this? What's driving it?
What's driving which part?
The part that you're talking about. I trust my neighbors. What's driving the neighbor that's doing bad? What's driving them?
I don't know what's driving them.
There you go.
But there's a lot less of it, or there was a lot less. Right now, the FBI says this is the safest time in American history to live.
Of course they're going to say that. But yes.
Well, but isn't it? Would you rather
I don't
live
know.
100 years ago where
I
there's
can
no
tell you-
antibiotics and people just
I
died
got you.
just by
I got you. Bro, I've never felt unsafe. I have never felt unsafe. I'm not kidding. I guarantee.
Because we've done a great job in this country.
No,
we're not perfect by any means.
Maybe not. I'm talking about just me, inside me. Because you ask any woman, they felt unsafe.
No, I get that part.
Do you understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? Okay, that's what I mean. Same thing. Just talking about your neighbor. That guy's creepy. Makes me unsettled. Looks at me in a weird way. So I don't feel safe. Right? I mean, how many women have that story? Many. And rightfully so. It's their opinion. I'm just saying, dude, I have walked around never feeling weird. My kid has a propensity to want to be in the city and doing things. Last night, I stayed at a Starbucks. I did a lot of work, and I picked him up, and he was in a place that I don't know why she's sending me that text. Sorry. He was in a place that, not great. I go down, I needed gas. So I go in and I see I stick out. Okay?
Uh-huh.
I stick out.
Yeah.
And I went up and I'm shooting the shit and just being me. And everybody's laughing. And I walk out of there and, I never felt unsafe. And it struck me then because I go, this would be a place where I think people might feel unsafe. People of a different skin tone, tattoos, this sort of thing, right? People get uncomfortable with that. And I'm not saying what is wrong. My question is what's driving it? What's driving the neighbor that breaks into your house? What's driving that? How do we fix that? Because you're not going to fix it by just locking them fucker up. There's going to be another one.
No, I know.
So what's the driving of it?
But I guess like the collective culture of
Yes.
America, the collective culture of suburbs, the collective culture of certain societies in America, the odds are way less of that happening in certain pockets in certain areas in America
same thing in
than there
England.
are in other areas.
Yeah, but the same thing in England. Same thing in England. Yes. You're talking about one city. Take me to Whitby. I'm up on the North Sea. I've been there.
Okay.
I guarantee they don't have this problem.
Talk to our friend Shorsha about his old country Ireland. What's going on over there?
I understand. You
You don't want to go back.
Well, I don't know that Ireland's even that bad either. I mean, we're not hearing about like people being mowed down.
Okay.
Right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of murders happening. You can't have a gun in fucking in Ireland.
And if you did, maybe this thing wouldn't happen.
Oh, gee.
Dude, seriously.
Well, what is happening? I don't know what's happening.
There are like there's like women are being raped by gangs.
Okay.
And nobody's doing anything about it.
Okay.
If you speak out against this religion on Facebook, you go to jail.
Okay.
That's a freedom of speech issue that we have in this country. We don't have that issue in this country. Over there, they do. Guys are showing up. Hey, did you post this on Facebook yet? You're going to jail. Why? Because I spoke out about gang rapes? Yes.
Okay, but
that's the issue that's going on over there.
But my point, okay, but see, this is where I
know. I didn't mean
no. And we'll wrap this up because it gets a little silly.
Yeah,
right?
I apologize.
Circular. But my thinking on this is what I don't understand is gang rapes that are happening. So they're all people who don't. Let's say I was born in Britain and I was raised in Britain and my family goes back to the 10,000s or to tens.
Yeah.
Okay. So these people don't belong. They're the ones that are doing the rape, or are there other people doing the rape? That's the point. Everybody speaks with such a broad brush.
I know everybody's not everybody.
And then we get down into it, and it turns out that no, it's like a mix. It's a gang with a mix of people. Okay, I could go to Chicago, and I guarantee there's some shit happening there, and parts of New York City, and I bet L.A., and I wouldn't be surprised if right here where we're sitting. So that's the part that I get somewhat upset with, because I go, are we focused on the right stuff? I don't know, because we make a lot of noise. The loudest voice in the room gets the attention.
Right.
And my perspective is this is my country, and you're fucking it up. And so now I have an enemy. and I don't know. And where you say, I don't trust I trust my neighbors. I guarantee that we could go 15 miles from here and they don't trust their neighbors.
No, I know. I guess,
and they're all people who have been born here.
I understand.
So I'm trying to just.
I shouldn't be speaking in generalities.
I'm just trying to show another side. That's it.
I get it. I get it. And I wish I were better informed to give you more facts about these things. I do see it though every day, and maybe it's the algorithm. I don't know.
Look,
but
dude.
But I'll tell you what, man. It's like
this is my worry sometimes with social media though, because, and I'm not saying it's you, but I am a little bit, I guess.
Yes.
So just hold me.
Go on.
Just hold me. And
it's not the first time.
Push back.
Go ahead.
I'm afraid that sometimes what we're seeing on social media becomes our absolute truth and fact.
Mm-hmm.
And one person's opinion
suddenly
becomes our truth and fact. And that's where we start building our tribes. And if you don't agree with me, then that feels like
I like you a little bit less, or I don't like.
Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
people aren't having this discussion you and I are having right now with nuance and open-mindedness.
No. Well, I'm trying. I don't know that I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying.
I don't know if I'm doing a good job.
Okay. But but I like that you hold your. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Please don't.
I know most people think I'm an idiot, but I'm a smart idiot.
I don't think that. I don't think that, and I don't want people who necessarily agree, and I'm not mad.
Oh, I know.
I'm not mad. I just am trying to just show
other side of
just a thing to say. Yes, but yes, but
that's good though. You're supposed to ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't take everything at face value.
No.
I don't expect you to take what I say at face value.
No. I nobody does with you.
But go.
What I was going to say is when the algorithm, as you said, maybe it's my algorithm, the algorithm does become that. And it does become this thing. And when people, conspiracy theorists, say things like they're trying to divide us, you start to go, do you know what I mean? Because I'm so angry that this is happening. I'm seeing it in my everyday. So it has to be.
Right. This is the way the real world works.
Okay, but wait, that is for that person.
Right.
I can't deny that person.
Like Bill Maher had a great during the pandemic. They asked conservatives what percentage of Americans are dying of COVID, and conservatives overestimated that it was 5 to 10%. It was like less than 1. They asked liberals the same thing. 40%. They said, right? Yeah. That's the point, though. The algorithm. Yeah. The algorithm was getting to people.
And
we have to take a step back, myself included. Go, okay, show me the facts.
Well, it's like, it's not, it's show me the facts, but those will get manipulated.
Right.
So I try to take it down from the macro to a really micro thing. I would say within your household, there's disagreements. Everybody's household. Yeah. Right? I don't mean yours. I just mean
in general.
In a household. Let's say it's a family. There's more than just Dan.
I want to watch Dancing with the Stars.
Okay. But whatever happens in a situation, and let's say it's a bad situation, like people get angry and things happen.
Yeah.
There's a fact and then there's an emotion attached to the reaction and how it's perceived. And I think that most people don't look at the facts of things, because we can agree that so-and-so got mad when the milk spilled and they yelled and smashed a glass. Fact. That made me feel scared and not trust you. Okay, that's your thing. Why were you mad? It's another goddamn mess. Everything I turn around...
It's the straw that broke the animal's back.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now we have the fact, and then where do we move from there? And if we can go back to, we know this happened, and you did do this, and you did do this, great. Now we can kind of decide,
where do we go from
when
there?
A similar situation happens like that, how should you act, and how should you react, and that sort of thing. Same thing here. Like, how should you be when you come to a new country? You should be respectful, and they should, I understand we should respect the other culture. If it's a free country and they want to practice their religion, that's fine.
That's fine.
Right.
You do it in a peaceful manner.
Yes.
I don't care what you do.
Exactly. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
We're done. I hope people aren't mad at me.
I hope people aren't mad at me either.
Why? I'm saying I hope this doesn't bore
let me go one step further just with the whole. I think that I could in these discussions are very charged, so people will take a side, and then the emotion comes out, right? And they start thinking emotionally. And I don't want to.
Well, yeah, but that's like,
which can be a good thing.
No, I know. That's why I always say things like when we had the NFL discussion, it's a business, right? And business is cold. And when we see people get fired from jobs, it's usually on performance or something, and the company's not going to deal with that. Well, so then we get mad, and we're not gonna go to that company anymore, and blah blah. And then it never works. It never, because we go back, we have our tendencies, we just don't, and we're mad in the moment. But it's like everything for us is an emotion. That's why. And to say take emotions out of it is almost incorrect. And I try to take emotions out of things sometimes and go, it's a really tough decision. I have to take my emotional side out. I know this is right. It doesn't feel good, but I know it's the right thing to do. Right? Yeah. And that's the part that's very hard, because I think all of this, our entire life, is really our feelings. Don't you think?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, you take it to Tony Robbins. You talk about change your state. Change it. What is that? Change your feeling. Change your mind, and you feel better.
Yeah.
What is that? Your feeling.
Yeah.
A song.
The irrational mind naturally guides the rational mind.
Right.
You got to switch the carts.
You got it. I hear a shitty song from Cinderella. I'm looking through my channels. It's got Cinderella. It's on the 80s.
Heaven
You got
too
it.
far away.
Or like a really weird voice and everything. Yeah. And I'm going, this song is a piece of shit, but I love it. Why? Why do I love this steaming pile of
Because
shit?
it takes you back to a time in high school when you were dancing with Lori Cal Alfonso.
No, I never danced with Lori Cal Alfonso. But I do remember dancing with this other chick, and I was in like 7th grade. And I just told Jameson this story the other day.
And you had some... Yeah.
My parents always did this dumb thing that maybe I should do too, but I don't to a certain extent. Is they always would like buy the discount brand as though they were saving money. Okay? So everything was like the knockoff. You did stuff. And I get it.
Hydrox cookies.
Yes. Yes.
Which, by the way, were the original.
Okay.
They're disgusting.
But my point was like, and I try not to really do it because it annoyed me so much as I got older. I go, it really wasn't that much more. I get it. You know, there's a difference between what am I?
Top Care Pop-Tarts and real Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Vineyard and Vine clothes and something from Walmart. Okay, right. I got you. But my point was like but this was everything. Everything was this. So parachute pants come out. Parachute pants were lined and they have it. Yeah. I got pants that you could fucking see the color of underwear through mine. But you got your parachute pants. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, the underwear said, can't touch this.
So you will not be the first adult to touch this. It's what mine said. I remember.
Man, this is a dark segment.
All right. So I remember wearing my parachute pants, and I'm pretty sure it was Foreigner. I Want to Know What Love Is. And a girl who was older than me, she might have been a freshman, pulled me out on the dance floor.
When you're in junior high and a freshman girl approaches you,
what happens? What happens?
Gonna take a little time because you're giving me a boner.
Yeah.
We used to sing that song. For everybody know, we used to sing that song at CMF. Like when that song came on, we changed the lyrics.
And I had a boner in my parachute
every
pants.
Junior high.
In my parachute pants.
In the parachute pants.
Danny, in the parachute. Talk about pitching a tent. A literal tent, Dan. I pitched a literal tent. Yep.
It's natural.
I know. But I didn't know where to walk. I'm like this. It's like I'm seeking.
See, I would think naturally, ideally, the parachute pants would be the perfect pants for.
No, you can see right through.
Okay.
I'm trying to put it down my leg. Now I look like the Sticky Fingers album. Yeah. I'm trying to put it straight up, and now the top of it's peeking out over the top of my pants. It's like the whole thing was fucking
terrible.
terrible.
And you think that everybody sees it.
Yes.
And she sees it.
Yes.
And she can feel it.
Yes. 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 Yep. There you go. Do we do one more segment?
Well, we were supposed to do a segment about a phrase. And the phrase that
but the phrase is going to take us back in the direction we were just in. We'll do it.
What was the phrase?
Microlooting.
I never heard this.
Okay.
All right, great.
We'll get into it right after this. You never think you're going to need a personal injury attorney until you do. It's not something you plan for. 1 minute you're just living your life. Next thing you know, you're dealing with an accident, an injury, missed work, and a whole lot of stress you didn't ask for. And here's the truth. Insurance companies, they've got a plan. They know exactly what they're doing. The question is, do you? That's why if it's me, I'm calling Connors and Ferris. They know the system, they know how to fight, and more importantly, they know how to take care of people when things get messy. You're not just a case file to them. They walk you through it step by step and make sure you're not getting pushed around when you're already down. So if life throws you one of those moments, don't try to figure it out alone. Call Connors and Ferris or visit connorsandferris.com with offices in New York City, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. Because when it matters most, you want someone in your corner who actually knows how to win. Connors and Ferris. There's a term floating around that I had never really heard of before. I guess because everything now, we have micro. We have micro, we have macro. We have all kinds of stuff. Micro dosing, right? We've got that. We've got...
Joe Rogan's a big micro doser.
Okay.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's just where you take like a small amount of a natural substance, let's say marijuana, acid, mushroom, whatever. Well, I guess acid's not necessarily natural, but mushrooms grow on the earth, and some psychedelic maybe, and you just do small amounts to keep you alert, make you think clearer. I don't know. There are benefits to that stuff, right? They've done a lot of different things. But this is a term that I was surprised about, and a lot of, I'll say smart people, writers, commentators are admitting to. It struck me as weird. It is, I'll grab a couple of things from a big store and not pay for it.
Seriously?
Because it's a corporation, they won't feel it, and they see it as kind of a protest. So let me give you the backstory on this and where I see this. I see your face over there. The New York Times has an opinion podcast. Okay. And
the whole paper's an opinion podcast. I'm sorry.
I knew. I was looking through. I'm sitting at Starbucks and I'm looking through and I go, oh, this is interesting. And I go, well, once I say New York Times, Danny's out.
I'm a subscriber to The Athletic, which is owned by the New York Times.
But there was a writer named Gia Tolentino, and she was on the podcast and described several times that she swiped items such as lemons from Whole Foods, adding that she didn't feel bad because it's a big corporation. Now, remember, Whole Foods now is Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
Yes.
Okay. On the podcast.
And if you're an Amazon Prime member at Whole Foods, you get like good benefits from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, wait, if you're a Prime member?
Yeah, if you're a Prime member, you go to Whole Foods, like you get like 5% off and you get like points and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, man. I got a Prime card now and everything. I'm set for life.
So I also on the podcast was a opinion culture editor and described microlooting as a way of sticking it to Bezos, billionaire. And somebody said, what I'm seeing on TikTok and social media is people saying that they're stealing from Whole Foods, not just for the thrill of it, but out of the feeling of anger and moral justification. Because the rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? And Jeff Bezos has so much money, he's a billionaire, so why should I have to pay for organic avocados? And so petty theft, it seems to they're saying, is this the new political protest? Now, I haven't heard of this, so I'm not saying it's everywhere.
No, of course not.
At all.
This is on a podcast from the New York Times.
Right. And if you're and if to me, if it was said slightly different, I wouldn't still agree with it. I never was comfortable with stealing things. Like the store. When I was a kid, it's such a rural town that the one bus after sports went to a bunch of other counties over here, and one went the other direction. So sometimes you didn't want to sit on the buses and went all the way down and loop through. So it would drop you off at this little grocery store. You'd get something to drink, get something to whatever. And then when it came back through to go to your way, you jump back on. They'd like in.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped doing that after I was done because, it just wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So I remember these kids like Chris McCucci used to go in. He would ask for a bag and then buy like one thing and steal about 15 pieces of gum or whatever. And I always hated that. I don't know why. It just didn't sit with me. I'm not saying like I'm some moral high horse here. That's not it at all. Believe me.
Yeah, you're not policing the bulk foods aisle at Wegmans.
No, but I've certainly done my share of shitty things. So I'm not denying.
I saw you eat that almond.
That's just something that never ever. I don't know why. Just never sat with me. So, but I go, if this was a Robin Hood mentality, rob from the rich, give to the poor, it might be a little different. Some political commentator named Hassan Piker was asked on the podcast, would you steal from Whole Foods? And he said, yes, and I have under very specific circumstances. I will say, I think that stealing from a big box store, adding, she doesn't believe it's significant as a moral wrong, nor is it significant in any way as a protest. Okay, well, I would agree with the not significant as a protest. Describing one of the shoplifting incidents, she said she was buying food for a family friend at Whole Foods. I was like, oh, okay, great. And so I'd be getting all of her groceries, and then I would finish, and I'd be like, oh, my God, 4 lemons. I forgot 4 lemons. And on several occasions, I was like, I'm just going to go back, grab those 4 lemons, and get the hell out of here. I didn't feel bad about it at all, in part because the store was a corporation, and it certainly felt in a utilitarian sense. I was like, this is not a big deal, right, guys? And you've got people saying, I grabbed a few lemons from Whole Foods, and they didn't feel bad. And the justification, Jeff Bezos is a billionaire.
What about all the people that work there?
They factor, yeah, exactly.
Aren't billionaires,
right?
Whose jobs are on the line, and when they have to make cuts, like, I don't know, the Washington Post, and because you stole a paper because Jeff Bezos is a billionaire.
Well, they also say they factor in theft into the business model. They exploit workers anyway.
Oh gosh, you know what?
So now
this line of thinking, you know what this line of thinking leads to?
Yes,
that CEO of that health company, I think it was United Healthcare, who got assassinated by Luigi.
Yeah.
It's the same effed up rationale line of thinking. A little sin won't hurt me. A little theft won't hurt me. A little rationale won't hurt me. Because they deserve it for the price I pay for this stuff. And that is so wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I am not a fan of this, but we're deciding what belongs to us, right?
You could have been Jeff Bezos.
Oh, sure. That I agree.
You could have been Sam Walton. Go do something.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations, this person says, because they steal quite a bit more from their own workers. One thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that automated process that they design, these companies know will increase shrink. In other words, why at some Walmarts do they no longer have self-checkout aisles? Because the shrinkage was really big at that one store.
Do you know what the most stolen item at Walmart was, by the way?
I'm going to say, hang on, let me guess. I
almost grabbed one in the other room. Think about it.
Oh, water?
No, close. Red Bull.
Oh, really?
They had to stop. Well, I don't know if they stopped selling it, but like Red Bull became the most stolen item.
God, I would have thought it was
because the packages were so small, but the packages were open. Yeah. Like a 4-pack of Red Bull. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't drink Red Bull. You could literally grab a Red Bull from inside the package and pull it out through your hand because it wasn't wrapped. It was just an open package. Oh, it was a closed box, but it was an open box.
Yeah.
So you could reach through and people just put it in their pockets. And all of a sudden guys would go to like buy Red Bull cases. Like, well, half the Red Bulls are missing.
Right. So this person continues, is actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations regardless. This person says, I haven't personally stolen anything since I was a kid. Here's the part that doesn't sit well with me. This is, and I try to distill it down. People aren't saying I stole and I feel conflicted about it. They're saying I stole and I'm morally justified. And to me, that's a different animal altogether because you're going on a feeling, right? I feel justified in this. And there's a part of me that goes, what's wrong with these assholes, right? What if it were your lemons that someone just took?
Right.
How
I'm not a billionaire like Jeff Bezos. My margins are much smaller. No, dumbass. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter who you are.
Well, I take it
if you cheat in the little games, you'll cheat in the big game.
Okay. Well, that's just why our friend Greg Connor says the game of golf tells you so much about how a person is in real life. Cheating or looking ahead, right? But to me, it's not about the lemons. It's not necessarily about the microlooting. It's about how quickly human beings can rewrite the rules when it benefits them.
Right.
That's what I see. We don't say stealing is wrong, but I did it. We're saying in this case, it's not wrong in this case. He's a billionaire. And I to me, it's like we get that, you hear people say the slippery slope. To me, once you decide it's okay to steal from someone because they have more than you, where does the line stop?
It doesn't.
Right. My neighbor's got
or is there a line anymore?
I don't know. Is it just the billionaires that's a great question. Is it just the billionaires? Do we go after millionaires? The guy who owns the corner store, your neighbor has a nicer house. So I'm just going to steal.
That's the fatal flaw in rationale is that you'll rationalize everything. There is no line with rationale anymore. It's called rationale.
Well, okay. Let's make it real for a second.
Okay.
All right. Somebody walks into anyone's house and picks up a few items, nice lamp, maybe television, something else, and goes, what the fuck are you doing? You're well off. You're going to be fine. You're doing fine financially. Wouldn't you lose your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what you're saying. It's not yours.
Here's a great one. Nobody listening to this podcast above the age of 30 could say they never stole anything. And I'm like, I've never stolen anything. Oh, wait, I did. Back in the late 90s, there was this little thing called Napster.
Oh, good point.
And Andy Babuke once told me this, and it totally clicked for me.
Yeah, sure.
Totally clicked.
I'm a liar then.
Okay, but here's the thing. You didn't realize. No, you weren't a liar. You were negligent to realizing what we've done, okay? Because I'm like, I've never stolen anything in my life. I've prided myself on the fact I don't believe in that. But, oh, yeah, that's right. I downloaded music, and they called it file sharing.
Yeah.
In other words, it's like taking a CD and making a mixtape and sharing it with but they rationalized it and they centralized it. So Sean Fanning does this with Napster, right?
Yeah.
And Andy Babuke from the Chesterfield Kings go in Fab Gear.
Yeah.
He goes, would you just walk into a Tower Records and just put a CD in your pocket? No.
Right.
Would you go to your buddy's house and do that?
No.
Well,
we didn't see it like that.
Right. Because rationale will.
Well, I don't think people understood it.
But that's the whole point.
Well, this is why people get in credit card debt. They don't understand that it's real money.
Yeah, it's real money.
We're just swiping. So the same thing here. We're not realizing that we're stealing the music. It's just simply, hey, how cool is this? Right. I got it for free.
And who do we get mad at? Who did they weaponize and get angry with? They got angry at Metallica. They got angry at Sheryl Crow. They got angry at the people. Yeah. And then there's pros. Oh, yeah, we don't care. Because they had to be cool. They had to be the cool guys, right? They were wrong. It was stealing people's livelihoods.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times we all have to do something for free for a certain point. You get a little further ahead.
Yeah, it's called an internship.
Well, that or whatever. No, I hear you.
Or it was. I don't know if they still do that.
No, they do, but in certain aspects. But I would say, but even like, if someone's going to hire you to do a voiceover, you give them a free sample, right? And it takes your time and it's something you charge. Well, you know what I mean? So you would do that. But you're not doing it for free forever. Is my point.
No.
And that was exactly what
Kevin plays songs on his pit, and we have to guess theme that tune.
But it's not yours used to be enough. It's not yours, right? And I think people still say that to kids. And I hear, there's this self-righteous billionaire, they're a billionaire. Can billionaires do better? Probably. I don't know. Could they make better wages, better conditions? Could Bezos at certain things? Fair conversation, I would say.
Sure they could.
But stealing from a grocery store and calling it activism in some way or justifying it to me is like, that's not a protest.
It's lazy. It's illegal.
Well, it's convenience dressed up as morality. Is
Yes.
what it is. It's just people being.
And when you rationalize that stuff, you'll
You got it.
rationalize anything.
Right.
You'll rationalize cheating on your wife. You'll rationalize.
Well, Dan, I got the cold shoulder for a long time, and I don't know. My neighbor's been very nice to me.
Yeah.
I helped her
She's
out.
invited me to her pool parties with nobody home and the lights off. She's showing me attention.
Turn off the lights.
Let's take a shower. I was just washing her back.
You want to? I always think like you want to protest. Don't stop at you want to protest. Okay, shop local. Let's do that. Right?
Mhm.
We're really against Bezos and the takeover. Shop local. Go to a farm stand in the summer, or go to there's not many of them, but mom and pop grocery store, or somebody who's there are little ones around. You can find them. I'll buy my barbecue sauce from here, but I'm supporting local. Or growing your own food.
Right.
So it's a good way to do things too. If it's vegetables, organized. You can vote on shit. I understand. To me, there's hundreds of ways to make a statement that don't involve taking something that isn't yours at any level. And what worries me in the conversation, and again, who knows how big a deal this is, and I may have at some point inadvertently done something like I would normally go back and go, oh, shit, I put that in my bag, and all right, whatever. So maybe I'm being a bit of a hypocrite, but I never went out of my way. What worries me a little bit with this theft is the lack of friction.
Mm-hmm.
No friction there, no guilt, no pause.
Right.
No internal debate. Just like, yeah, that's fine. Don't tell me. You know, if I'm off, I don't know.
I think the best revenge is always living well. And how do you live well? How about you live righteously, or try to, at the very least, as much as you possibly can? Because nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. Not one person. Not one second of one day. But can you try? Can you make the effort to live a life that's pure and holy? Can you try? That's the best revenge. And I know somebody out there is listening to this and they're going to rationalize and go, yeah, but behind every great billionaire, every great fortune is a great crime. Yeah. Yes, I understand that. That does not justify your crimes. It doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't.
I mean, I think you and I don't see this as necessarily harmless. I think
no, it's not.
I see,
because eventually it adds up, and eventually, then how about what if Bezos uses that as the rationale? Well, we got to close the Whole Foods here because there's too much theft here. We got to move these Wegmans out because of. I mean, let's take a real life example. Okay, I don't know how true this is, but I know there's only one Wegmans in the city, and a lot of people are upset. There's only one Wegmans in the city. They say there's food deserts in the city. Yeah. And the rationale that they've said, this isn't me, this is that the Wegmans family pulled Wegmans out of the city because there was too much crime, too much theft. But the Wegmans are this great corporation. They can afford a few things. That's where it goes, guys. Yeah. And you don't like it when the tables are turned on you, do you?
Well, see, this is the thing. Yes. Because to me, this is a thing that slowly erodes trust.
Bingo.
Right. So I don't trust in this neighborhood that I'm going to be able to run a sustainable business because people are stealing from it. I don't trust. And I look.
By the way, look at New York State. Businesses are leaving. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
But this kind of stuff does drive up prices. It does affect the workers. It's not yours. You want to protest? Grow your own. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think that what it says about people is you're self-centered. You're a little bit jealous. You're trying to justify something. I still get a bit confused as to why people get so mad at billionaires. I really do. I know. I'm sure I'm missing something. I hear it. I got it. I know people who won't use AI because of the amount of water it needs to cool the computers that are doing all the stuff. It was like Bitcoin mining, so they're building it around lakes, and it's heating up lakes, and we're destroying fish. Okay, I see that. I still I can't stop. The genie's out, and it's not just me. And you got
to compete with people.
There are websites and things that use less of that, or plant a tree for every, I don't know, download, let's say. Very nice. And boy, I applaud you if you're doing that. Thank you for doing it. Right. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure that I'm the guy. And there may have been ruthless ways they became billionaires. I don't know exactly, but I know this. I think we have a lot more stuff because of the taxes they pay. That was what I said earlier. So it's the whole thing just gets it just seems so confusing to me. And I wish that people would look again at the big thing. Microlooting. Never heard. Didn't know.
There's a scene in the show The Sopranos where Tony's sitting there with Dr. Melfi, the psychologist, and she's defending poor Italian immigrants, and he's going off saying, hey, we had the balls to take what was ours. In other words, he's justifying and rationalizing his life behavior, which is what the entire show is about. It's about how Americans lie to themselves on a daily basis and justify their means of life, right? And it's poignant because there's no rationalizing that.
Right. Send back a book.
But microlooting, don't do it.
No, we'll get out of here, Danny.
Coming up next.
I gotta wrap it up today. For Dan Barillo, lots of opinions. Boy, it was fun. I do like these kind of things, but we'll see if
coming up next. The NFL draft breakdown from Greg Connors. He is not a happy guy right now.
Oh, he's not?
Oh no.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, do you think I got thoughts on the NFL draft?
Yeah.
Greg, just give him a mic and just give him 20 minutes.
All right. Maybe I'll do that.
Things could change by the time we're taping this and the time the draft ends. But right now, he is not a happy camper.
Really?
Yeah. He might give back his Bills season tickets. No, he won't.
For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you next time.
Well, since I left California, baby, things have gotten worse. It's a land of opportunity for me. It's just a curse.